Everybody, this is Dream, and today I'm going to review Sumatra, Fate of Yandi. Sumatra, Fate of Yandi is developed by Cloak and Dagger Games and published by Radalaka. This game is $6.99 on Xbox. It's on sale right now for $5.59, and it came out on March 19th of 2021. So this is a puzzle action-adventure game, and basically in this game you gotta solve the puzzles, and it's also a point-and-click adventure, so you're basically just gonna be pointing and clicking around, trying to find items and figure out what you need to do as you progress through the game. Basically, the game is a old school style of game, so you're gonna have a very pixelated type of late 90s style of classic game. I'm not really a big fan of this type of game, especially from a point and click game, because in this particular game, it's basically just walking back and forth from one side of the map to the other, and it's not real clear to where you need to go at all times, and so it's just going to take a lot of trial and error, so to speak, from that perspective. And I just overall, one of my big gripes was actually the fact that if you were in one area and you saw something on the ground that you might need later, you weren't able to necessarily pick it up because you hadn't talked to somebody about it yet. And with an inventory system, I don't know why that would be the case, but that is the case in this, and I actually got stuck for a little while because I didn't realize that I had one line that I didn't click when I was talking to somebody that I had missed. So that was kind of an annoyance. Overall, I like with a game like this, you'd like to have all the items be able to be picked up if you're around them to pick them up when you see them, as opposed to being only able to be picked up whenever you talk to somebody else about them at a specific time. And I could see people getting stuck there if they're not careful, or in multiple situations where that's possible. I actually had thought I had clicked all the items, all the dialogue, but I had missed one, and it took me a while to figure out that that's what I had done. I mean, even at that point, I wasn't entirely sure if I needed that particular item, but I had been in that area like 3 or 4 times, and I could have easily picked it up at one point in time or another if I hadn't, and so it just seemed like a egregious error to make it so that something that's already in an area that you can see and click on wasn't able to be picked up simply because you hadn't clicked a dialogue box. But anyway, as for the game overall itself, I thought that the story in it was relatively boring. Wasn't very excited by any of the characters. Granted, it's not that it's bad from a story perspective. It's just not an exciting story. And then a lot of the stuff, like it just seemed like it got mixed up, and it wasn't real clear as to why you actually gave a crap to do what you need to do in this game. I mean, basically, the story is that you survive a landslide and you get lost alone in a deep jungle, and you have to try to find your way out while finding your coworker as well. And so you really had no reason to care about your coworker, and you never really cared about your character for that matter because you weren't introduced to anything that made you really care that much. And then a lot of the times it didn't make a lot of sense what you had to do in the game overall. So overall, I'm just not a very fan. I just didn't really like this experience of this game. I actually ended up getting fed up in about 2/3 of the way through and just checking on a guide for it because I couldn't. I just got tired of running around from one side of the map to the other doing stuff. And then it turns out I was doing the right stuff. It's just I had to keep running back and forth from one side of the map to the other. I feel like that they only did that to extend the length of the game, so to speak, as opposed to actually, making more stuff to find and do. So I kind of thought that was, kind of, I don't know. It's just bland to me when you just if the main purpose of the game is to do something, is you're gonna have to run back and forth from one side of the map to the other side over and over and over. That's just repetitive and boring, and that's exactly what this game is. Um, Overall, just not a fun experience at all. I actually did complete the 1,000 in this game, and it won't take you very long. I do recommend using a guide for it. It's about a 2-hour achievement completion, maybe a little bit less if you use a guide real quickly, but not a very fun experience to me, and not something that I recommend from that perspective. As for the price, it is $6.99, and that's pretty standard for these types of games. I feel like for $5, being on sale, that's probably okay for the achievement purposes, but it's not a game I don't think too many people are going to be all that excited about. I just didn't enjoy it. That's what you're here for, to find out if what we think about the games, and really didn't enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10 because aside from the fact that this is an easy achievement guy, it wasn't an exciting game, and not much about it was unique or revolutionary or anything. Despite the difficulty being, there's no difficulty hardly. There's no challenge to the game. It's just finding the things and doing the stuff. Just found it to be incredibly monotonous. So definitely not a game I recommend. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. I feel like that's a pretty negative review, but it's just not a good game. And granted, it is a Ratalaika game, so a lot of times I don't put out the best stuff, but it's definitely one of the lower barred Ratalaika games I played. With that said, that's pretty much all I have to say. So have a nice day, everybody.